September 28, 2000, a remote CIA facility in Uzbekistan. On a bank of monitors, analysts watch grainy black and white footage streaming from 15,000 feet above Afghanistan. Suddenly, the feed focuses on a compound outside Jalalabad. Walking across the courtyard is a tall figure in flowing white robes. The room falls silent. They might be looking at the most wanted man on Earth, Osama Bin Laden. But here's what made CIA Director George Tenet lose sleep at night. As technologically dazzling as that was, it was frustratingly limited. Yes, we might have been looking at him, but we were not in a position to do anything about it. Imagine having the world's most dangerous terrorist in your crosshairs, watching him in real time from thousands of miles away, and being completely powerless to act. That technological gap would soon spark a revolution that would forever change how America fights its wars. Just 344 days later, everything changed. October 7th, 2001, the opening night of Operation Enduring Freedom. For the first time in human history, a war began not with soldiers storming beaches or tanks rolling across borders, but with a CIA analyst sitting in a control room, thousands of miles from the battlefield, pulling a trigger that would fire a missile from an unmanned aircraft hovering silently above Afghanistan. That first drone strike, chaotic, problematic, but historic, marked the moment warfare entered the digital age. But what happened next would shock even the Pentagon's most forward-thinking strategists. Within months, the CIA had transformed from frustrated observers to the world's most lethal remote assassination force. By 2009, they had killed more than half of Al-Qaeda's top 20 most wanted terrorists without a single American pilot ever entering hostile airspace. But this wasn't just about eliminating targets. It was about psychological warfare on a scale never before imagined. Picture this. You're a terrorist commander hiding in the mountains of Pakistan. Every day you hear the low hum of invisible death circling overhead. You can't see it. You can't shoot it down. You don't know when it might strike. Intelligence reports revealed that Al-Qaeda fighters began turning on each other, killing suspected informants out of pure paranoia. One senior counterterrorism official described it perfectly. They have started hunting down people who they think are responsible. People are showing up dead or disappearing. The Predator drone, powered by nothing more than a modified Rotax engine you'd find in a recreational aircraft, could fly 400 nautical miles to a target, hover for 14 hours, beaming real-time video back to controllers, then return home. It wasn't the size of the weapon that terrified America's enemies. It was the relentless, unblinking persistence of the all-seeing eye. But here's what the CIA didn't anticipate. Their own success would create an entirely new problem. By 2008, Pakistani intelligence was secretly warning terrorist targets about incoming drone strikes. When the CIA discovered this betrayal, they made a decision that would fundamentally alter international relations. They stopped asking permission. In the 6 months that followed, they launched 38 strikes in Pakistan without government approval, establishing a precedent that would reshape global power dynamics. Captain Jonathan Songer, commanding Predator operations at Kandahar Airfield, captured the military's desperation for this new capability. They can't get enough of us. They simply can't get enough Predators in the air. Ground commanders had discovered something revolutionary. They could see the battlefield like gods, watching enemy movements in real time, identifying threats before they materialized, and eliminating high-value targets with surgical precision. The numbers reveal the staggering scope of this transformation. Between 2006 and 2009, drone-launched missiles killed between 750 and 1,000 people in Pakistan alone. By 2014, the U.S. military operated 246 Predator drones and 126 of the larger, more lethal Reaper drones. But perhaps the most chilling statistic is this. Civilian casualties from drone strikes were estimated at just 5% of total deaths, making remote warfare potentially more precise than any military technology in human history. Yet this precision came with an unexpected cost. The original Hellfire missile, designed to destroy tanks and bunkers, was overkill for eliminating individual terrorists. Military engineers scrambled to develop smaller, more precise weapons. The Griffin missile, Pyros missiles, the Navy's Spike missile, essentially creating a catalog of remote assassination tools tailored for different targets. The psychological impact extended far beyond the immediate targets. Intelligence analysts discovered that the constant presence of drones had fundamentally altered how terrorist organizations operated. They could no longer gather in large groups, communicate freely, or maintain stable command structures. The drone bubble, that sphere of constant surveillance extending across vast regions, had effectively created virtual prisons for America's enemies. But here's the question that keeps military strategists awake at night. What happens when this technology spreads? When every nation possesses the ability to project lethal force anywhere on Earth without risking a single soldier? The CIA's drone program in Afghanistan didn't just eliminate terrorists, it eliminated the traditional concept of borders, sovereignty, and conventional warfare. A single analyst in Nevada could now end a life in Yemen, Somalia, or Pakistan with a click of a mouse. The speed of modern warfare had accelerated from months of planning to real-time response. Former CIA operatives described the intoxicating power of drone operations, the ability to get inside al-Qaeda's decision-making cycle and systematically disrupt and eliminate key leaders before they can plan attacks. It was intelligence warfare perfected, turning information into targeted violence at the speed of light. The transformation was so complete that by the end of Operation Enduring Freedom, military commanders couldn't imagine conducting operations without their fleet of robotic eyes in the sky. The technology that began as a frustrated observation platform had evolved into America's primary tool for projecting power in an age where traditional military deployment was becoming politically impossible. Today, as you watch this video, somewhere in the world, a CIA analyst is probably watching a live video feed from thousands of miles away, tracking movements, gathering intelligence, and potentially preparing to make a decision that will end a human life. The technology that emerged from the chaos of September 11th has become so normalized that we barely notice we're living in the age of remote warfare. The revolution that began with one frustrated moment, watching bin Laden walk across a courtyard while being powerless to act, has fundamentally altered the nature of conflict itself. We've entered an era where warfare is conducted not by soldiers on battlefields, but by analysts in air-conditioned rooms, making life and death decisions with video game-like precision. The question isn't whether this technology will continue to evolve. It's whether humanity is prepared for a world where the power to eliminate enemies anywhere on Earth is limited only by the reach of our satellites and the resolution of our cameras.